Hello, you are watching the Maine Road Ramble halftime show with me, John Ashley, who put his own name up there today while everyone else put their Twitter handles. We did flip-flop on that. It's halftime at Old Trafford, Manchester United 0, Manchester City 0. Poor first half by all accounts from City, Joe. What's your takeaway from that first half?
Yeah, it was just kind of a nothing first half. I was saying before we went live that it feels like the past couple of years, the derby's just been the first half is everybody feeling each other out, and really just there's not much to talk about after 45 minutes. I don't think today was an exception to that. I think probably what frustrated me the most was just City didn't really have a lot of clear-cut chances, but it just felt like they were sloppy in possession, and the more tidier in possession you are, which City typically are, the better you are at creating chances. And it just felt like they were succumbing to United's press a lot, which I wasn't expecting.
Andrew, it looked like City were really struggling to keep possession in the final third. And conversely, it looked like United were playing for the counter attack. What changes do you think need to be made at halftime, whether that's personnel or tactical, to kind of rectify that? Oh, Andrew, you're muted.
There we go. Hey, I think we need to switch up the formation slightly because we're playing a weird 4-4-2 that I feel like Pep sometimes does in these big games, and I'm never convinced by it. And then the second thing is either Cancelo needs to come off or Sterling needs to come off because there is no width on the left. And so you either need to bring Foden on so there's a left footer on the left to interchange with Cancelo, or you need to bring Mendy on so that there's a left footer to interchange with Sterling. It's one of the two things. And it's the worst. And it really frustrates me that Pep does not understand that you cannot play two people that play with the same foot on the left and have any width out there. We've seen this so many matches this season.
See, Andrew, I get what you the formation, what you're trying to get to. I'd almost argue would be better to take Mahrez off or Walker off. And so
that's fine too.
Cancelo to the right, Mendy to the left, or something like taking Mahrez off so Sterling's on the right and Torres or Foden's on the left. I agree. I think we're just lacking width. And to me, how do you not look at the match against Leipzig midweek and think if you put Cancelo at right fullback and Mendy at left fullback, it just felt like United were there to be had.
Yeah,
and it's obviously not happening today.
Very few chances, especially for City in that first half. United had a couple of half chances off corner kicks and set pieces. Again, doing very well to counter press City and catch them in unusually sloppy form in possession. City's biggest chance fell to Riyad Mahrez on a breakaway. Gabriel Jesus doing really well in the centre of the field. Kevin De Bruyne laying it off very swiftly to Mahrez, who had a lot of time to pick his spot, and that spot that he chose was David De Gea's midriff. So, Andrew, what should he have done there? Not done that.
Started packing his bags to go back to Algeria.
Wow. Well, we just lost the Algerian fan base once and for all.
I mean, I'm not going to say that he absolutely needs to come off, but that's unforgivable to be in that position. I mean, that pass by KDB was beautiful. And he had pretty much the entire net to aim at. And he just, he's a good enough player that we should be able to expect that he can put that on either side of the keeper.
I feel like his first touch should take him. It felt like his first touch took him at De Gea. I felt like it should have taken him one more touch to his left.
Yep.
And it would have just given him that far side post, similar to, not just to bag on Mahrez. I mean, Raheem Sterling had a pretty similar scenario where went on a great run from a great pass from De Bruyne, sat down two defenders, and he just kicked it at De Gea, really. I mean, it hit defenders. Why not just go far post? So, there were chances there, and, they have to be taken. I saw, obviously, John has this up now about Jesus. John, what do you think? I don't.
I think Jesus has been the best performer of our three forwards. He's had very little to go off, but he links up the play better than either Raheem or Mahrez do. I said during the game that I'm a big fan of Raheem Sterling, but in games against United and Liverpool, he just does not seem to do it. He does not seem to be able to get past, whether it's a psychological barrier or whatever it is, that I think he's played over 20 games now against United and has not scored once, which is quite an incredible stat for someone of his scoring record. So yeah, I would definitely keep Jesus on the pitch, maybe moving out to the left. I don't know. He's good in that position. But Sterling did have Wan-Bissaka on skates at one point in that chance that you said in that first half. So I think there is some joy to be had, but we just need to keep the ball and keep the pressure on in the final third. Hopefully that'll happen, and hopefully Pep will make changes sooner this game than he has done in recent Premier League games. Hopefully around the 55-minute to an hour mark, we'll start to see either a Torres or a Foden come in. I think we just need a little turn of pace.
I mean, I think at least on the bright side, though, unlike previous times when I feel like we've been struggling to put United away, the defense has looked rock solid. I mean, they've had some chances, but like Diaz and Stones are sniffing out pretty much everything. And Fernandinho, to his credit for having the legs of a 45-year-old, is somehow just like everywhere at this match.
I'm pretty sure Fernandinho is like a year older than I am, Andrew.
Right, but he's also, think about how much top-level football he's played, and he just came off 90 minutes against Marseille. Like the man, like those are not young Fernandinho legs anymore.
In fairness, yeah, I probably would be flat out somewhere on the Old Trafford pitch if it was me out there right now. Right. But I am not an elite football player, so that's my excuse. Ederson has looked a little sketchy again at Old Trafford. He doesn't seem to be phased in any other game, but gets to Old Trafford and forgets how to kick the ball in the air, it seems. Any reason for that, Joe? Any explanation?
I mean, I feel like City, I don't know if it's the confusion with Fernandinho and Rodri playing together, which doesn't happen very often. And typically one of those two will play by themselves. So they're always the player that's, going to get the ball from Ederson. I don't know if there's confusion there. Okay, who's going to go in the middle of the pitch, take the ball from Ederson, and the other goes somewhere else? Like that I've tried to figure out how they've played that so far, and I still haven't really nailed it down because I'm so used to seeing Rodri, but now that Fernandinho's back in central midfield, that's a little bit different. But I mean, he's had a couple passes where it's like it's just not necessary. Like I'm fine with him starting passes if it's going to create a chance, but when it's in your own half, you don't need to be forcing passes.
Yeah, I imagine that third substitution will be, if Fernandinho can't last the 90 minutes, it'll be a midfielder, maybe a Foden, potentially a Gundogan, depending on his fitness, coming in. Bernardo as well, coming in to be potentially a bit more creative in that left central midfield position. Rodri has looked a little lost in that area at times. I mean, he's doing okay, but
I think a lot of that comes down to he and Fernandinho have not been the double pivot, and to me, he and Gundo have been playing all these matches. If Gundo wasn't fit to play 90, fair enough, but I think that starting Gundo would have made more sense, and then you bring on Fernandinho to close it out in a close game or something. I don't know that playing two people that haven't played together in that role in months makes sense.
Well, the good news for City is that it is still 0-0. We could have very easily gone behind in that first half in terms of the way that we were giving up possession so easily. Yeah. I think that'll be Guardiola's focus in the dressing room at halftime, is to just encourage keeping possession more. United, I don't think will be able to keep up the levels of energy they had in that first half for the whole 90 minutes. So as their legs tire, City will be given more space, and we just need to be calmer on the ball.
I also worry about the corners. Not that they keep conceding them necessarily, but this back post run that United's done twice now with McTominay, probably should have scored the first one, and the second one, just didn't fall to him. But it's like carbon copies, and I think it was Walker the first time, and I can't remember the second. But it's like, guys, that's an easy chance if it falls to a United player, and they've let it happen twice now. So I just hope that that's something Pep addresses at halftime.
The one positive I feel like is that this is the sharpest I feel we've seen KDB in like a month. Like he has had 3 or 4 times where they were millimeters away from like a clear goal because of his passing.
Mm-hmm. We do need to be. I mean, he is our main creator without a doubt, and so they're going to mark him. But I think we just need to get into the habit. We say it time and time again of being more clinical with our finishing. I think in years past we'd have been 1-0 up with that Mahrez chance at halftime, because City take those kinds of chances.
As much as you say Sterling hasn't performed against United and Liverpool, if Sterling is on the right coming in there, I think Sterling buries that chance.
Got a comment here that says, but it must be demotivating for KDB when we miss these chances. He certainly does. Yeah, he certainly doesn't shy away from expressing his sulk energy, shall we say, when all the hard work that he's provided suddenly just doesn't transpire into anything.
I don't think there's a more angry man on a football pitch than Kevin De Bruyne. Like everything he does is with anger.
That's true. It's not.
He scores a goal and it's like no emotion, and that's when he should be criticized.
But it's not like raw anger that's going to get you sent off for a terrible challenge. It is kind of toddler anger energy. Like when my daughter, when something goes wrong with my daughter, and she'll just throw whatever it is in her hand as far as she can throw it, which is quite far, surprisingly. But yeah, exactly. And Kevin kind of does that with his through ball energy. Sometimes he's just like, fine, just yeah, but that's all I can compare it to. But my frame of reference is quite limited at the moment. So maybe that's a poor point. So we're coming up to the start of the second half here. I'm going to ask for your predictions for a full-time score. And we do have a post-match pod in the works as well. So hopefully you'll be optimistic and it'll come off. But Joe, what are you going for?
I'm going to give a shout out to our fellow co-host, Jared Deegan, who was hoping to see a Ruben Dias goal and wild celebration. So I'm going to say 1-0, 91st minute winner, Ruben Dias.
All right. I'm not sure I'll see that. I think I'll probably be hiding at the bottom of the garden somewhere. Andrew, what are you saying?
2-1 City.
Wow.
I think we win, but I don't think we can keep this clean sheet. I think United have had a few too many like close calls that I think one of these, they're like a brilliant moment from Fernandes or Pogba to me feels like they're going to score. But I think City, particularly if they bring on Torres or Foden, like there's enough quality here that we can pull this out.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with a bit more conservative and say 1-1. I can't see 3 goals being scored in that second half, but if City win 2-1, I will definitely take it.
Yes.
All right.
I don't care how we get it.
Thank you, Joe and Andrew, for coming on with me. And thank you, listeners and watchers, for watching. I guess this is watching, not listening. We just need to get out of this podcast mindset. We're on. We may have face for podcasts, but we now have also face for live stream. So until next time, until after the game, we'll see you later. And come on, City.
Come on, City.